Hi guys, I'm Dave Rosendahl, and today I'm going to show you how you can use MindFire Vinci to generate more leads and sales without having to hire more people, learn HTML, or get a PhD in Facebook marketing. Now, what's unique about Vinci is that it takes the know-how and tactics that were previously only available to companies who paid hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year in marketing and makes that available to everyone in a way that's simple and straightforward. At its core, Vinci is about helping you generate more leads and sales by helping you run marketing campaigns that achieve a specific purpose. And what I mean by that is that it helps you do things like promote a piece of content, say a blog post, or drive traffic to a landing page with an ebook lead magnet, or promote a webinar, or drive attendance at a trade show, and so on. You get the idea. You can certainly do this with MindFire's other products like Studio, which, by the way, is what powers Vinci under the hood. But the core difference with this product is that Vinci says, okay, instead of you needing to know how to architect a campaign that helps you achieve every one of these objectives, Vinci does all of that for you. So think of Vinci as doing 90% of the work for you, and then you customize the remaining 10% to your specific needs. Okay, so enough yada yada. This is Vinci. The easiest way to understand how Vinci can help you generate more leads and sales is by jumping right in and creating a campaign. So the first thing we're going to do is click here on Create a Campaign. As you can see, the first thing Vinci is asking us is, what's your marketing objective? And this is a core focus of the work that we've done in developing Vinci, in that we are focusing his power and his intelligence around helping you achieve specifically the thing that you want to do. So in contrast to you opening up a blank canvas or going to a whiteboard and trying to figure out what is the best way to create a campaign that's going to help me do what I want to do, Vinci says, I have a number of recipes, I have a number of blueprints that are designed to achieve those objectives. And within those blueprints is years and sometimes decades of experience that has been baked in from everything we've learned at MindFire and everything that our thousands of users have taught us over the years. So I'm going to show you a very simple example, a blueprint that promotes a piece of content like a blog post or other information that might be on your website. Let's create one called our example campaign. We click on go, and now what Vinci is doing is providing us with the steps that we need to go through in order to configure this campaign. But in order for you to see the genius behind this blueprint, in order for you to see Vinci's mind, let's pause for a moment and look at the bigger picture of what he's doing here for you. Okay, so I want to show you the picture of what you're able to achieve with this blueprint by illustrating the workflow here on the screen. So as I mentioned, this blueprint is all about helping you promote content. That could be a blog post, it could be a press release, it could be an article on your website, it could be a webinar, it could be any number of things that you want to promote. Now, what Vinci will help you do is send an email to the content that you're promoting. So it's very simple to initiate your email and send it directly to the content. We've got templates. We've got a very easy interface for you to create that email. You're going to see that here in just a moment. So that's the first thing he's going to help you do. The second thing that he builds into this blueprint is a very easy way to send the same email you just sent here, to everyone who didn't open that initial email. So you can wait, say, 3 days and then fire out this email to the non-openers. So whereas other systems certainly allow you to do that, what Vinci has done is make it very simple. With a few clicks, you can very rapidly leverage the content that you've already written and send it to your non-openers. So it makes it very simple to squeeze more ROI out of the marketing spend and out of your investment in time in promoting this content. And it gets a little bit better. Vinci will also give you an option to, just like you created the second email, create a third. And in this case, you could wait, say, another 2 days, and Vinci will send the same email or a variation that you create to everyone who hasn't yet clicked through to your blog post or the piece of content that you're promoting. So Vinci makes it very simple for you to send your first email, and then optionally, if you want, to send that second email to the folks who haven't opened, and then very simple to send it to the folks who haven't clicked here in this third email, again, pushing folks to the content. Now that in itself can save you hours and hours of time, but there's a bit more. What DaVinci recommends you do is embed what we call a call to action within your content. So this could be simply a section within your content that, let's say, promotes a webinar that you have coming up, or some other interesting information that the reader might find relevant to the content that you're promoting. So what DaVinci recommends you do is, as you create your content, embed these additional calls to action within the content so that you can take folks from reading that information, which is a very kind of passive experience, to actually engaging with you and taking one step further. So naturally what's happening here is DaVinci is helping you warm up your readers. He's helping you warm up the folks that are interacting with your content by putting this opportunity in front of them to take the next step. So the brilliance of what DaVinci will do here for you is allow you to link from your content. This is your blog post, could be in WordPress, anything that you choose. DaVinci says, okay, put a call to action link in there, link to, let's say, your webinar sign up form. Let's say you've got some webinar going on or some other interesting event you want them to attend. And then when they hit that thank you page, DaVinci will track for you the conversion, meaning DaVinci is going to be able to show you a series of very interesting points within the progression of your campaign. He's going to, of course, show you who's opening up emails, right? He's going to show you who's clicking through to your content. And then he's going to also show you, and this is optional, you don't have to do this, but he's going to show you that third level of engagement, which is who is actually following up on the call to action that you've embedded within your content and completed that conversion point, completed that thing that you want them to do as the next steps. So those are the three areas that he helps you measure, and the three things that you can use to immediately see who's engaging with your content and who's taking those additional steps that you may want to then follow with a phone call or a subsequent email to begin to engage in your sales process. So now that you understand the psychology behind the blueprint, the thought process behind the blueprint, you can see how it's very useful to be sending different groups of customers through this flow. In other words, starting a group here with email 1, having them go through to email 2 if they qualify, email 3, so on and so forth, so that they make their way through this funnel. And what DaVinci allows you to do is start different audiences on different days. Let's say you have a group of customers that you want to start tomorrow, and then you have a group of prospects that maybe you want to start a week later. So DaVinci allows you to create different segments and then start those segments at different points in time so that they're moving through this process in a very controlled manner, giving you the time that you need to follow up on each precious lead. You got it? All right, now let's go into DaVinci and take a look. So here we are back in the example campaign that we started just a moment ago. And step 1 here is where you paste in the URL to the content that you want to promote. Think back to the workflow we saw just a moment ago. This is the main focal point of where you're driving all your traffic. So DaVinci makes it very simple for you to specify where you want to send the traffic to. Step 2 here is where you configure your emails. So here's where each of the emails that you're sending in that sequence can be easily configured. Here's the email that gets sent at the very start. Here's that email that is then resent to the folks who haven't opened. And then here's the email sent to the folks that haven't yet clicked through. So as you click on each one of these options here, you can configure that content or just leverage what you've already written to make it very simple to send out. So just click on the subject line, type in our new subject line, and you're good to go. You can change imagery, you can change text. You can see as I'm hovering over different areas here in this template that I'm able to edit that content. So if I want to put in my wonderful copy here, hello, this is great copy. So you just start typing and DaVinci takes your content. Now, if you say, you know what, I want to try a slightly different layout here, you go to options and there are a number of templates that you can use. So you can switch to a template that looks like a handwritten email. See, it takes the same copy that we just wrote a moment ago and applies it to this new layout. You don't have to do a thing. Let's say you want to put a no logo, but a button here in the middle of the page. So remove the logo there at the top. Or let's say you want a logo and a button in the middle. So you can see that there are a number of templates here that by simply selecting, you can take the content that you've written and put it in a variety of different formats till you get one that feels just right for the email that you want to send. Now, DaVinci makes it very easy for you to test your emails. By default, he knows that you want to probably send it to yourself. So you can send a test to yourself. Simply click that button and Oh, there we go. So it says the email should arrive within 60 seconds. You check your inbox, and there you've got your email. So that's how you create the first email. Again, this is the email that's going to be sent to everyone in the audience that you specify. And then when you're ready to create your second email, you click right over here, and you can either clone your first email, which gives you a great starting point. You've already written all that great content, or you can create a new email. What I usually do is just clone the email that I configured here to send on day one. I've got a great start. I make a couple of changes. I hit save, and I'm good to go. It's that simple. So that's how you configure your email sequence. Now, if you remember, I told you that Da Vinci is going to help you measure and monitor interesting points throughout the campaign flow. Here's where you turn on or off the alerts that notify you when those things happen. So as an example, if you want to know when someone opens your email, simply turn that on, go and select yourself from that list. So it's that easy to do. You can just add yourself. You can start adding somebody else. Let's say I want to add my buddy at buddy.com. It says, okay, we don't recognize that email. Let's go ahead and add it. So you just simply click add this email. And now you've got a new person who's going to be notified whenever that activity occurs. When you want to know when someone visits the content, the blog post as an example, again, just turn that on. Hey, there we've got Buddy again. Let's go ahead and add me back into there. Now we've got two people. And if you wanted to track those conversions, remember this is that optional third point where Da Vinci is measuring other things that happen on your website. And when they occur, tells you, hey, you got somebody to convert. Could be signing up for a secondary activity like attending a webinar or downloading another white paper. Here's where you return that notification on so that Da Vinci can make you aware of that activity. So that's how you configure the notifications and alerts. And basically at that point, all that you've got left to do is configure an audience. So this could be like we had in that pictorial a second ago, your prospects. These are your prospective customers. So all I need to do is come here and select from the drop-down list here. Let's say I want to send it to this list of people. You can see how Da Vinci automatically calculates how many people are in that list, makes it very simple for me to know if I've got the right group of people. And the last step is simply to say, okay, when do I want this particular group, these prospects, to start to go through this sequence? And I could say, well, let's have them start tomorrow, which happens to be a Saturday, and let's send it at 12:05 p.m. And there we go. We click save. Da Vinci is very helpful in making sure that what you intend to do is actually the thing that you're telling Da Vinci to do. So he's going to say, hey, you're going to target 4 people here in about a day. Does this seem right to you? Hey, thanks for asking, Da Vinci. Yeah, that seems right. Perfect. We'll save that, and we are good to go. So that, in a nutshell, is how you use this blueprint to achieve the marketing objective of driving traffic to a piece of content and then turning that passive content into interested and engaged readers. And that's the power of this blueprint in Da Vinci. Okay, so now let me give you just a quick tour of some of the other functionality that you have here in Da Vinci that makes your life easier and allows you to get up and running much more quickly than traditional systems. So you've already seen how you can create a campaign, right? That's where Da Vinci is asking you, what do you want to do? Here's a menu of things that you can pick from to achieve your objective. You've seen that already. This is a list of all the campaigns that you've created, so you can quickly scan through the campaigns that you've got active, pick the one you want to work on, or in some cases you might want to clone that campaign and start a new one. That's what you're doing from this view here. Da Vinci also provides you with an asset library that gives you access to things like a repository of content, forms that can do data capture, emails that you can use throughout the system, and other pages, content that you can use throughout your campaign. So the idea here is Da Vinci says, let me store all of that here for you in this asset library, and then you can rapidly reuse them across any number of campaigns to get to where you want to be more quickly. We'll take a deeper look at each one of these in a separate video, but for now you get the idea of what the asset library is all about. Now the audiences section is where Da Vinci allows you to upload your data. So these would be contacts that you have in your CRM or contacts that you're adding to the system after a trade show, as an example. And these are folks that you then want to market to. So Da Vinci allows you to upload your data, and then you can either use that as a list that you send to in one of the campaigns, or you can create what Da Vinci calls a segment. So briefly here, I'm going to illustrate for you the power of segmentation. So a segment allows you to create, as an example, Dave's segment, and say, I want to pull people who meet certain criteria. So let's say I want folks who are in a certain city. So you can see that this value here, DaVinci updates as you're typing. So let's say we want to know everybody who's in California. My guess is there's no one in California in my database. So let's see. Yeah, DaVinci says no people match that criteria. So we'll go ahead and put it back to blank. So we're going to get everybody who doesn't yet have a city value. And I can add another condition. You get the idea. As I add these conditions, DaVinci is going to show me how many people meet that criterion and then give me the ability to save that so that I have a segment now of people that I can use in my marketing. So you can see here's Dave's segment. There's 22 people in it. I can click that if I want to see exactly who those individuals are. But the point here that I want you to take away is that these are segments, lists of people that you can rapidly reuse in any of your marketing programs to get to where you want to be more quickly. Lastly, in settings, this is where you configure a lot of different things about your account. So these are things, for example, your company settings that are used globally across all of your landing pages and all of your emails. Think about this, for example. Let's say every time we hit the end of the year, I need to change your copyright 2017 to 2018 as an example. I think we've all been there, right? We find assets that are, oh my gosh, this thing's old. We need to update this, or our company name changed, or we moved, our address needs to change. And those things are spread across a bunch of different assets. Well, what DaVinci helps you do is set that once, you configure it here, and then wherever it's being used, it'll get updated. So that's the power of these global settings. Configure them once, apply it everywhere. You don't have to go to your landing pages, you don't have to go to your emails to make those updates. It just works. Now, we won't go into all of these other options, but you can see where you can do user management, where you can configure your email settings, where you can set up your web tracking. This allows you to do things like conversion tracking that we saw a moment ago in the blueprint, where you're measuring things that happen after somebody engages with your content. That's done through web tracking, simple insertion of some script into your website. And we'll go into more detail into each one of these in another video. But for now, I just want you to get the idea of what's available there in settings. Okay, so that's the high-level overview of DaVinci. You now understand what DaVinci is designed to do, how DaVinci helps you do things much more quickly and easily, and you saw how the promoting of content to generate leads and sales is much easier through the philosophy that DaVinci bakes into the blueprint. And so with that, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Let me know if you have any other questions. Leave a comment, and we'll get that answered for you. See you soon.